when you start talking about a biography, when you start talking about your life, it kind of comes up in blurbs. It comes up in flashes. It comes up in a bunch of memories, trying to recreate the best memories, trying to hold apart and pull apart the fabric of who you have become over all these years. So before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins, the Super Bowl champion, before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins, the CBD specialist, so before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins, who played 9 years in the NFL with the Giants, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Saints, before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins, who overcome tremendous adversity with NFL Europe, before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins, who gone through the University of Pittsburgh and endured his challenges, before we start talking about Darnell Dinkins coming out of high school to be able to be one of the top recruits in the country, before we start talking about Darnell going to Shinley High School and walking down Elmore Square miles just to make sure that he got to school on time, before we start talking about the physical abuse and the verbal abuse that you incur as a kid, I just want to tell you how Darnell Dinkins became. So this is a journey of my life. This is a journey of how you come from nothing to something. This is a journey of how you continue to find faith when no one else sees value in you. This is a journey of how you continue to progress even though you see a dead-end road. And by the grace of God, we're sitting here today to be able to move forward and tell a story of how I've come from nothing to something. This is the Darnell Dinkins Road Less Traveled story.